All right, well, here we go again. This is module 13.3, and the sphere is the radius. That's what makes it different between finding the volume of a cone or a cylinder. And you can see here we have a ball or a sphere, and its radius is 2.1 centimeters. And so the formula for volume of a sphere is 4/3 times pi times r cubed. So we're going to have to use some different buttons in the calculator when we get there. Still use 3.14 for pi, but this time we're taking the radius and we're going to raise it to the third power. Let's go check out the calculator. So the first thing you're going to need to use is that a over b button so you can do the 4/3. And then you want to make sure you get out of the denominator before you hit times. And then there's your 3.14. And then when we type the radius to the third power, there's the radius, 2.1. We have to use that a to the b button. And then you get to type in your own exponent. This time it's a 3. And then we'll go ahead and round that volume off to the nearest tenth. There you go, 38.8 cubic centimeters. So this next problem is a little different because now we don't have a radius. This time we got the diameter, 7 centimeters, and you can see that that line goes all the way across the sphere. So we got to cut that in half. And if you want to use your calculator, you can divide it by 2. If you know that 7 halves is 3.5, there you go. Still writing down the same formula, still going to show all the same steps. 4/3 pi r cubed, and then we'll just go ahead and plug in our numbers. But this time I'm going to show you a little shortcut in the calculator that'll hopefully save you a little bit of time. No need to keep going over and over when the process in the calculator is the same. Go ahead and take a look here. All we're going to do is the 4/3 and the 3.14 in the formula, those never change. The only thing that's different is the radius. So if you just take out the radius and put in your new radius, you get your new answer, 179.5. So you don't always have to go and retype in everything in the calculator. We can save a little bit of time here. This is the one problem if you turn the page. It's a little tricky, is you're looking at half of a ball. So when we're done finding the volume, we've got to divide it by 2. On top of that, we also don't have the radius. We got the diameter. So the diameter there is 42 centimeters, and we got to cut that in half. We need the radius to find the volume. So we're taking that 42 right there, and we're going to divide it by 2. And so the radius really is just 21 centimeters. And then we go ahead and show the formula, that 4/3 times pi times r cubed. But man, there's a little trickiness at the end of this, in that when we're done plugging all the numbers in, we're going to take our final answer and we're going to divide the whole thing by 2, because I'm only looking at a half of a sphere. So we're going to take that whole value and draw a big old long fraction on it and put a 2 underneath, and that'll cut it in half. It's interesting to use the calculator to do this. I'm going to show you a little trick. We're going to take out that radius again, and we'll put in 21 for the radius. And let me show you how we're going to divide it by 2. We're going to take and highlight that whole value in the calculator. And we're going to hit the a over b button. And look what it's going to do. Gives us a fraction underneath. I can put a 2 down there, and you're good to go. And there's your answer. And then just make sure we round it off to the nearest tenth. When you guys are doing the IXL, that'll be the one problem, is people won't round it correctly. So make sure you're rounding it off to the nearest tenth. Go ahead and check it in your calculator. Check and make sure I did any. If I made any mistakes, be sure to let me know.